You know, I've been enjoying this delicious smoked roast chicken. When you try this recipe, you're going to fall in love. Oh, but before we get into it, do me a favor, folks. Take a look right down under this. It's where you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Click that bell so you get notified. A thumbs up is always appreciated. And if you drop comments down below, be assured I do read those things. So thank you very much for doing that. And please enjoy the show. I'll be enjoying my meal. Starting my fire. It is very cold out. Gotta get that fire lit. You can't smoke anything without some fire to make it happen. Okay, give it time. All right, that's what we're looking for. I'm looking for that charcoal on top to start turning white. When I see edges of white forming up there, that's when it's ready to go in the firebox. And if you've never set up one of these offset smokers, the firebox is the smaller box right over there on the right side. That's the part where we put the fire and the meat goes in the big part. All right, now I have my firebox down here. My charcoal's all ready to go, but one thing I always use out here is a set of tongs, long tongs. That way I can handle any loose charcoal or anything else I need to, and they're very handy to have, so I'm going to grab that real quick. Okie dokie. Now, one thing I want to mention, wear gloves. When you handle one of these lighting chimneys, they get hot, okay? They get really hot, plus the heat that comes off of them. There we go, and those gloves will save you every time. A good leather glove. Now, all the charcoal pretty much hit the right spot. With my luck, about 5 or 10 pieces usually end up falling out, and that didn't actually happen this time. Alrighty. So I've got the charcoal in here. I'm going to add a little more to it just to fuel it up a little better, because we got a very cold day here. And then there we go. Come on. I want that a little over halfway open. Now, the part about a smoker that takes time is getting it regulated, getting the right temperature. Let me get some charcoal. Okie dokie. All right, now, setting up your smoker, get that fire started, get it in there. Keep your smoke chamber closed. Now, I'm going to open it in a minute to put a pan in there, okay? But right now, I'm going to just let it heat up on its own. And the smoke, I want it to be not puffing and gray like it is. I want it to be slow, blue, and billowy. And then that way I get the right thing going on. But most important, this temperature right here, it needs to be between 150 and 250 degrees. That way we're smoking. We're not actually cooking the meat. This is just to flavor it, nothing more. There we go. I was getting my primary flavor in the water. Hey, this is Texas Cooking Today. I'm Stuart, And today I'm going to be doing a smoked roast chicken. That sounds kind of contrary, doesn't it? Is it smoked or is it roasted? Well, folks, it's both. It's smoked and roasted. We're going to start by flavoring this with some beautiful mesquite smoke, and that's what I have here. This right back here, this is mesquite wood that I have soaking in hot water. I'm going to be putting it outside on my smoker that's been heating up. This, I just need to get it seasoned, and as soon as it's seasoned, I can take it out there, put it on that smoker. So, got everything coming together all at once. The idea here is to flavor with smoke and finish the cooking in the oven by roasting it. So I'll roast it the same way I would normally roast any chicken. But the cook outside, well, that's a whole different thing. That's flavoring it and par cooking it. So there's not enough temperature out there to do the full cook in the amount of time that I'm going to smoke it. All right, and that's how this is going to work out. Should come out delicious. There is some seasoning. I'll get into that right off, and then we'll get the bird on the smoker and start creating delicious. Now, if I would like to ask, do me a favor, take a look in the description box. There's some links there. You're going to find a link to Wildgrain, a link to Chef's Temp thermometers. In this video, we use thermometers, okay? And then also you're going to be seeing a link to S.A.Trotter.com, and that's where my recipes are. Take a look at that. It's really appreciated. So come on over. Let's get busy making delicious chicken. So the ingredients I'm using, in addition to the chicken that I have here, is salt, paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, thyme, and a little bit of olive oil. Now, in addition, of course, we're using mesquite smoke, the real thing in this case. And you can, of course, use any flavor smoke you want. If you want to do it with hickory smoke or applewood or pecan, whatever you'd like to do, folks, you just use the wood of your choice, get the flavor of your choice, because this is going to come out good. All right, now the whole idea here isn't to make barbecue. We're simply doing some smoking to the chicken to add flavor, and then we get busy roasting it. Okay, first thing I want to do is just remove any excess moisture that might be under the chicken, on the chicken, around the chicken, whatever, you know. That way it's not just sitting in a pool of water that's going to wash off any of our seasoning. Okay, I don't want that. Also don't want the cavity stuffed with water, so I like to clean it out as well. There we go. So first thing I want to do on this, I want to get it rubbed down with a little olive oil. And that way we have a nice protective coating. And the idea of the olive oil is not so much adding flavor or anything like that, which it does add a little. The idea here is to provide a protective coating that keeps that bird from drying out. Don't want that flesh getting dry. All right, so there we have it. He's all oiled up and ready to get seasoned up. I'm doing this. I'm going to turn this around. A little salt. Cover your entire bird. So if you notice, I'm not just killing it, but it does need a nice layer of salt, okay? And the same way with each of our seasonings. I'm not looking to hit it with a heavy coating of anything. I'm looking for just a little light, gentle coating across the entire bird of each of my seasonings. There we go. And finally, a little bit of thyme. Okay, gotta keep it easy. Thyme is a great flavor for chicken. So is rosemary, by the way. And those are two that I've often used together. Also, you can use sage, rub sage. Goes really good on a roast chicken. So there's a lot of flavors that you can use when you're doing this. Right now, we have a fully seasoned bird with the exception of one flavor. I need to get a whole lot of this flavor built into that bird, okay? And that's out on the fire. So let's go do that. Okay, we're out at the smoker. I have my bird ready to go on there. My pan right down in here needs some water in it. So I'm going to take some hot water. Sometimes I heat the water with it. Other times I just do this. And it doesn't take a lot of water. No more than an inch in that pan, and it needs to be hot and steamy. The idea is we want moisture inside of the smoke box. Okay, and we'll put my chicken right over that pan so any drippings will land directly in it. Now, next thing, check my firebox, make sure that it's set up the right way, and that means pulling out some wood and putting it on there. Okay, now it looks like my fire is doing really well. I had the right temperature in here. Those last charcoal briquettes are now fully lit. So what I want to do is I want to put wood up on the sides of the firebox, up here and over here, around the fire. And the idea there is to create a slow smolder. This technique I have used for many, well, let's put it this way, for decades. It works very, very well, okay? So do yourself a favor, give it a try. You might be surprised at what you get out of it. And the whole idea of using water on that wood, again, we're trying to slow that smoldering process. We want to reduce how long it takes for that to release smoke, so I get slow, wispy blue smoke, not harsh, fast gray smoke, okay? A little more charcoal. Now folks, so you'll know, the reason I use charcoal instead of going with, just an all wood fire, charcoal is much easier to regulate the heat of. It's very easy to regulate and to control. If you need more heat, just a little extra charcoal. If you need less, a little less charcoal. And it always burns at the same temperature. So it makes it much easier to work your smoker doing this technique. There we go. Slow blue wispy smoke. There we go. Now, the color of the smoke is the right thing. It's kind of bluish. It's going to get a little more blue as that fire calms down. When you first put charcoal in there, it'll bilge pretty heavily. But after about 15-20 minutes, that slows down and that color gets blue, wispy, and beautiful. Okay, it's time to get the bird. Ah, look at all that smoke. And take that bird indoors. It's looking really nice. Okay. Now this bird is nowhere close to being finished, okay? In fact, the cooking hasn't even really begun. All we've done is just given it a really smoky, delicious flavor. So now it's time to take it in, get it in the oven, and get it roasting for real. Yes. Alrighty, now we're getting ready to put this bird in the oven, but I want some idea of what kind of temperature it is right now. So I want to get this right in here. I'm looking at 96. I'm going to catch a couple of different spots here. 97 there. Oops. 104. Okay, so the cooking is really just kind of begun on this. It is just now coming up to about 100 degrees. No big rush here. I do want to go ahead. I'm going to put a little water over the top. Won't hurt a thing. And I'll probably drizzle a little bit of olive oil on top. And I want water in my pan. That water is going to produce steam while this is in the oven. And that's the thing about being in that smoker. Something like this, the skin on it can dry out a bit, and this is starting to get a little bit dry. But, you know, there's always the salvation of a little bit of olive oil or something like that. Not only does it make the bird taste good, gives it a lovely color and glisten to it, and it also helps to preserve and keep that meat moist, and that's the real goal. All right, 350 degrees it goes in the oven. Alrighty, my oven has been preheated to 350. The bird goes in it. Now I want that bird cooked until it is a nice comfortable about 180 degrees on that meat. Okay, so that's one of those things where you need your temperatures good and warm. Normally on food you're looking for 165, but with poultry we go just a little bit higher, 180, 185 in that zone, and that way you have a little bit of a safety margin. Okay, so how long does it take to cook a chicken? Well, as a general rule, you're looking at 20 to 25 minutes per pound. That depends on the size of a chicken. The bigger the chicken, the more minutes per pound. Naturally, it takes longer to get that heat inside. All right, the next thing is also the temperature the chicken starts at. This one started at what, 95 to 100 degrees it's already at? So it's been, you could call, preheated. So we can't rely on that 20 to 25 minutes per pound rule. Now it's about a 4.5 to 5 pound bird. Normally that would take that about 2 hours to cook. That's typical on a typical roasting chicken. However, we kind of threw that whole scale right out the window. All I can really do is watch it. Now I'm estimating it'll take about an hour. Okay, so that is what I'm going to set a timer for. And then also I'm about to put my side dish in there. And that side dish is going to cook for almost the same amount of time. So I think it's all going to come out okay. It's just a matter of being patient and waiting for the goodness to come to me. All right, 1 hour. Alrighty, now this has been in the oven for about an hour and a half, believe it or not. And I need to check that temperature. Okay, good, we're coming up. There we go, 170, 175. We're looking good. This chicken is ready, okay? I'm gonna let it rest for just a little bit, but other than that, we got a beautiful chicken. Now the darker color you see here, this isn't burning. What this is we used paprika, if you remember. Paprika is one of the spices that's used in what's called a blackening spice, blackening spice. You know, in Creole Cajun cooking, that is one that turns dark, but it's not actually burned. Okay, so it's just that one spice doing its thing. Anyway, this thing ready to get taken care of. I'll be cutting it open here in just a moment. Yummy. So the quantity of everything that I've used today, well, it was pretty simple. As I've shown you, it was a light sprinkling of each on the salt, paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, thyme, and then gently rubbing it beforehand with a little olive oil. The olive oil doesn't really do much for flavor, but it really protects that bird's juiciness, all right? And that's a very good quality, a very smart thing to do. It'll lead to much better quality bird. So as far as how many chickens do you want? Well, how many folks do you have eating? All right, now if you think about it this way, when you go and purchase chicken at fried chicken places, let's say you get a 4-piece box. Well, a 4-piece box usually is a breast and a drumstick and a thigh and a wing. So that's half of a chicken, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so one chicken would be for 2 people if each one does 4 pieces. All right. That's a neat way to see it. And of course, if you've got kids, you're going to have to kind of work around what your kids' needs are. But that's a good rule of thumb for knowing just how much to use. Looks like I'm where I want to be on this. Now, back here, I've got these beautiful rosemary potatoes. Oh, those are an excellent accompaniment to a beautiful chicken. And the chicken itself, oh my. Let's see here. Go in. Oh my, there's juices running everywhere. They are clear. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, So I'm a little bit messy. I can't help that. But I cook a good bird, I'll tell you that right now. Look at that, folks. Yeah, I'm being kind of messy. Okay, here we go. Who cares? It's just nothing like those rosemary potatoes. This is one dish that I absolutely cherish. It's a beautiful smoked roast chicken with rosemary potatoes, and on the side back here I've got a little bit of chicken gravy. And let me tell you, making chicken gravy isn't so hard. Just get you some chicken broth, put it in a saucepan. I use 2 cups. I added in about a half a teaspoon each of garlic powder, onion powder, thyme, and salt. And that was it. I let it boil for a little bit to reduce it, and then thickened it with a mixture of cornstarch in cold water. Just that simple. And then I have a beautiful chicken gravy. Right there's what I'm talking about, folks. That's some beautiful chicken and taters. I just can't wait to dig in. Oh man, that beautiful, tender, delicate meat. I can't help it. I just do chicken with my hands, folks. Heck, I'm a Southern boy, what can I say? Look, this is flat delicious. If you want a great chicken recipe to try out, give this one a shot. I mean, the combination of methods and the seasonings, just the technique in whole, it worked, and it's delicious. I've not commonly done roasting after I do that kind of smoking. Generally, I'll braise. But in this case, I thought I would give it a try, and it turned out as a total winner. Give this a shot. Also, do me a favor. If you like the video, go ahead and click the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Drop some comments down below. I do read those. And folks, please visit my website. That's S.A.Trotter.com. That's where I have the recipes. And there's a link below that'll get you where you need to go. All right? So please enjoy that. Please enjoy more of my recipes, and thank you for watching.